Welcome to Gulfstream today in beautiful Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti along with my bud Pete Aiello, and beautiful day in South Florida. Breezy conditions, not breezy, but just a very comfortable, fast main track. Firm turf course today, Pete.
Absolutely. Beautiful weather conditions, as you said. And we continue with the carryover in the Rainbow Six with today's 8-race format. The Rainbow Six starts in race number 3.
Yeah, let's show you our exotic wagers this afternoon. Always in race number 1. We got the Rolling Super High Five starting right today in race number 1. We have 7 runners in that field. And also we have our first of 2 pick 5s, 50-cent wager, early pick 5, first 5 races on the card. And as Pete mentioned, the Rainbow Six starts in race number 3, $137,000 plus. Boy, this thing really fills in fast nowadays. It used to take a while to build up. Already at 137, and they'll be betting it pretty strong this afternoon. And we end the day, of course, with our late pick 5, and that is a 50-cent wager. Last 5 races on the card, and as I mentioned, the Rolling Super High Fives throughout the afternoon, as long as there is 7 runners in the field. And Pete, anything else before we get underway?
Only thing I can say is if you're a heavy favorite player, you've had a rough week. We had a 1-9 shot of Ralph Nix's go down the drain on Sunday, and a 1-5 shot yesterday, who also didn't run very well, finished 3rd, and an eventfully run. Was it the 4th or 5th race yesterday?
I think it was the 6th, actually.
Okay.
It was the 6th race yesterday. Yeah, it was a little, you have to go back and look at it if you're by a replay machine or you have an express bet account. Let's get right into the first race today. 1 mile and 1/16. Claim is 4 and up, $6,250. 7 runners in the field. Big favorite up there right now is the number 4, Chillin' Dylan. How'd you start the day?
I started the day the same way you did, with number 3, Not Welcome, who debuts today for a new outfit. This is a horse that, to me, the biggest question for him is the distances. I never even liked him going a mile. I always thought he was more of like a 7.5 furlong horse. At the old Hollywood Park, he would have been well situated because he's not fast enough to sprint, but he's not stamina enhanced enough to go long. So it'll be interesting to see if the barn switch helps him. I think it will. He should trip out pretty well in here under jockey Christian Navarro, and he does have some tactical speed, but he doesn't need the lead. That should work for him here because this is a first finish line race. And as you know, the first finish line races, it's awful tough sometimes to make up a ton of ground from the back.
And you mentioned the new trainer, Marcio Navarro. He's about 25% with new claims. But number 4 right now on the board, very, very early in the wagering at 6-5, is the 4, Chillin' Dylan. And this one is an 8-time local winner, making his 94th career start. And one of my old great lines, more starts than my 1999 Chevy Vega, this one. But we want to go back and show you his last performance. I thought it was pretty sharp for what he did last time out. And we're going to show you just at the beginning. He's breaking from post 13. So right there, I just wanted to show you just how expansive that post is. You know, he goes out there, he bumps a little bit in the beginning, but gets a pretty good trip, but he's wide throughout. And we're going to switch when he goes to the stretch. He's coming into the stretch wide, and he runs pretty good. I just thought it was a good performance. He was really up against it, breaking from that post. You know, he's a 12-time winner at the distance. MSCL Jaramillo in the saddle this afternoon. The horse that wins the race that day comes back and wins again. So I just thought off that performance, you know, that Chillin' Dylan, much improved post today. Hard-knocking campaigner, maybe gets the job done.
Also debuts for a new shed row, which is not unusual for this veteran. He's always on us, so he's a popular item at the claim box. Victor Barboza Jr. tries his hand today. That's good news if you like Chillin' Dylan, because Barboza does very good work with first-time acquisitions. And as you said, Jaramillo has the call. He's been red hot.
Yeah, number 1, Sir Sparky, you went to the inside with your 3rd pick.
Yeah, I think he's the best of the rest. He should be coming from far back. He's usually reliable for a little bit of a stretch danger. But I think the top 2 here, Not Welcome and Chillin' Dylan, are the top pair.
Yeah, I mean, I threw in 5 Royal Knowledge just because of connections George Navarro. But if you look at his previous 2 races, not very pretty. But this horse is working well to come back. And it's hard to throw this guy up the ticket or not at least mention him.
Well, you have to consider a couple different things when you look at Royal Knowledge. First of all, there's always the exception to the rule, and the rule is that George Navarro moves up on everything.
Right.
This would be the exception, as this horse has not run a jump since he got claimed. Last time out, he was defeated 20 lengths by Capital City. Capital City is the same horse who beat Chillin' Dylan.
Right.
He beat him by 11 lengths. So theoretically, if you're all other things being equal, or if you're a Latin aficionado, Ceteris Paribus, the 4 should be 9 lengths better than the 5 based on their last race.
I don't think you used that saying up there, yes. What was that, Ceteris Paribus?
Ceteris Paribus, all other things being equal.
Oh, my goodness, boy, you get it all here, from Latin to these incredible picks from Pete Aiello. Let's go to the turf for race number 2. 1 mile maiden claim is fillies and mares, 3 and up, $50,000. Scratch the main track only. Number 7, custom built. And Pete, we'll start off with you. You went to the inside with the number 1, and that is Thanks to Life.
Yeah, I thought this was a tough race. We only have a field of 6 signed on, but I think all 6 of them have a case that you could make for them. The 6, Determined Lady, who's your top play, will likely go favored. So I went in a different direction. I went with the stretch out speed of number 1, Thanks to Life. Jesus Rios riding for trainer George Navarro. This horse is getting back on the turf after a subpar run, sprinting on turf with an inside gate and with the aggressive Jaramillo in the irons. I'm expecting speed will be their weapon of choice. They'll try to get the front and save ground from that inside post, and if they do that, they could lead this field on a merry chase.
Well, that last race he was in, I had to go back and look. I remember that race from March 13th. It was a 6-furlong affair. The horse that won that race went on to win the Gulfstream Park Oaks Grade 2. That's Go Maggie Go. And the horse that finished second in there, Conquest Serenade, went over and broke its maiden at Keeneland just last week. So good race, albeit that was on the main track, but a nice way to go there. I was thinking of using that horse on the ticket, but I did go with the 6, Determined Lady, who's dropping to the $50,000 level. Receiving Lasix today in the first start since finishing 4th, was beaten only 1.5 lengths against maiden special weight competition, going a mile into 16 back on March 10th. On paper, getting Lasix today, just thought this horse was a logical horse to be on the ticket, and I'm glad you used it in second.
Yeah, this horse is a logical horse to be on the ticket. I don't necessarily trust her to win the second race at a short number, but I'm looking down at the TV monitors ever so deftly, and I see that 5 of the 6 horses in this race are on the screen for you right now.
Yeah.
And ordinarily we poke fun at each other, but that doesn't surprise me because this race is tough, and it looks like those 5 have about as good a chance as anybody. So, yeah, if you're a Determined Lady fan, why would you take the shortest price of those 5?
Yeah, now number 2, Rio Vesta, is making her first journey around 2 turns after a promising 5-furlong debut. I like this horse's performance last time out. She rallied to finish 3rd. It was against $35,000 maidens. I see this as a lateral move. George Weaver has the daughter of Desert Party working well up at Palm Beach Downs. I want to show you a stat over the last few years with number 2, Royal Vista, George Weaver. You see he is 5 for 39, 13%, but he's got a positive ROI, 61 to 180-day layoff on the turf over the past 5 years. Thought I'd throw that out there. And more than that, Pete, the stat, I like the way this horse ran last time out, and I don't see it as making a big jump up in competition.
I don't either. This horse makes a lot of sense and should improve second start of the career. Going 2 turns for the first time is a bit of an unknown. But when you have a good trainer like George Weaver at the helm, you trust those moves.
You tossed the Todd Pletcher horse?
I did.
Yeah?
I did. Todd Pletcher has Sweet Ella, who you used 3rd in the race. I used the 3, Miss Violet, for 3rd. I'm thinking that with the blinkers coming off of the 1, I would send anyway, but if they don't, that's going to allow the 3, Miss Violet, to play a major role in the pace today. She's taking a slight drop in class. Her race 2 back at Tampa against similar horses was very good. She also has second-time Lasix here this afternoon. It was an angle my grandfather used to use. I never quite understood it, but I know it works.
Well, that's all that matters here. This is the grandpa angle. He speaks Latin. He does it all. We'll take a break. He's going to come back and do the next race in French. Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Pete. Third race, 4.5 furlongs, maiden special weight 2-year-olds. An exciting time of year when these 2-year-olds get to run. Pete gets to call them all summer long. We see some great races throughout the summer. Just starting out, this is actually only our second 2-year-old race of the year at the Spring Championship meet, but we do have some scratches in here of the 1, 3, and the number 8. And the number 8, Jimmy's in the house, was actually part of an uncoupled entry from Wesley Ward in here. Who'd you put on top, Pete?
I put the same horse you did, Ronnie, number 6. I shot the sheriff, but we did not shoe the deputy. Debuting here for Dane Kabisky, Josie Gomez has the call. I would expect with the short run to that first turn around here, Shad the Sheriff will have to be forwardly placed. In the first 2-year-old race of the season, we saw an upset winner from the barn of Jason McCutcheon. He doesn't have one in here. However, Kabisky and Ward horses both ran well. They're both represented in here. I figure the Ward horse from post number 5, Toast the Kitten, this horse is going to get hammered, and I'm going to try to beat him.
Yeah, and I want to show you a stat with Dan Kabisky. This is, I thought it would be better than this over the last 5 years with 2-year-old first-time starters, maiden special weight. He's only 4 for 39, 10%. In the money, 49%. Low ROI of $1.33. This guy does an excellent job. I just thought that stat was something I wanted to show you there that, might make you maybe not single a horse or something like that.
Well, to me, this is one of those things where the statistics don't tell the story. I mean, he's 10% in the win-in, but look at that. He's 50% in the money.
Right.
The horses are ready. He just hasn't had any luck.
That's it. So besides that, let's show you my Rainbow Six ticket. We got excited about the two-year-old race. Forgot to show you my ticket in here, and I went 3 deep in here with the horse you have in second, 2, 5, and 6. Next race, there you see it. My Little Darlings, the 3-horse single from the George Navarro one. I'm going to show you a video of that race and why I singled it there. 3 deep, 2, 3, and 4. $43.20. My whole day is hinging on 3 My Little Darlings in the race number 4 this afternoon. Now we'll get back to this third race this afternoon. You mentioned the 5, Toast of the Kitten, Son of Kitten's Joy, was one of 2 in the race, entered by Wesley Ward. I looked up Kitten's Joy, and I was surprised at this stat. We don't have a stat there. I'm going to tell you about it. He's 52. We're talking about the sire here, Kitten's Joy. 52 for 311. That's 17% with freshman first-time starters. Didn't realize Kitten Joy's started that many freshman 2-year-old runners.
I didn't realize he won that many races first time out.
Yeah.
I knew there was a large sampling there,
Right.
but I certainly don't think precocious when I think of Kitten's Joy.
I know. I looked it up, and I went back and actually checked it twice, which is right. The horse that I added after the scratch of here, who I really like the one today, but that's for another day, who I think might be the right horse, the horse that you have in second in here, and that is Day by Day, a daughter of Awesome, of course, debuting for trainer Kelly Bryan.
Yep, the horse has the inside gate, which is no bargain, but if you're quick enough to get away from there, it doesn't actually matter. I think this horse, based on the connections, will be pretty quick, and Elvis Trujillo will be sending and sending and sending. We saw it in the first 2-year-old race of the season. The inside horses had a distinct advantage. We just have 5 here, though, so I don't know how much that'll come into play.
Yeah, and, you go back and you just look at those works up at Palm Meadows. They were pretty nice moves by this horse, so I think he's a logical contender in there. So that is how we see race number 3 this afternoon, as we mentioned, the first of the race in the Rainbow Six sequence. Let's go to race number 4. 5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life or 3-year-olds. The claiming level, $12,500. Scratch the number 7 in here, Red Aguilla. I mentioned the number 3 horse as my single on the ticket today, Pete. You did not use this horse at all. Drop into this 12-5
Don't you
level.
love that?
Yeah. I love it. After an eventful trip against 16 3-lifetime claimers, we're going to pick this horse to head up on at the 3/8 pole. I just wanted to show you what happened to this horse last time out. I just thought he got bopped off stride, and it was a really important part. You're going to see it here. That's the number 4 horse in here, My Little Darlings, as he's turning for home here, and he just gets hit here, and he gets just, knocked sideways, goes there, and he's just in between. I just thought that maybe that stopped his progression there a little bit, and I just thought the barn, the dropping is more important than even the hit there, to the 12-5 level. We mentioned George Navarro, Eddie Castro. It's a daughter of Purim. I had to find a single here today. I think this horse is going to run well.
Well, yes, I wouldn't argue with that, but that backtrack was interesting. It looked like the horse who she bumped with is the one that took the brunt of the force. She just kept right on going.
Well, what I said was it was just, just impeded it a little bit there, and they wanted to go back and show it. Now, you did go with a horse that I wish I could have added on my ticket, but I went with the single today, and that is the number 4, Glass of Wine.
Glass of Wine has run 4 times. All 4 of her races have been very good. She makes her first start for trainer Gustavo Delgado here this afternoon. That's good because David Fox has got her in good form. I would really be surprised if she doesn't keep her good form here this afternoon because I like the work Gustavo Delgado does. I especially like it with first-time acquisitions. So I'm expecting her to be as good, if not better, than the last time. And if I'm right about that, she's clearly the horse to beat.
Well, what about the inside horse in here, Crime Buzz, and this one from the David Fox barn also?
Yep. David Fox takes over the training. Kind of interesting little twitch. Who beat this horse last time out as a David Fox trainee.
Right.
Now David Fox takes over the training. This horse ran 7.5 last time, so cuts back from a 2-turn race to a 1-turn race. The last time this horse raced on the grass going 1 turn, he was nowhere, but that was against much better at Woodbine. Go 2 back to that scenario, and the horse was a winner. The point is, we know this horse can win going one turn on the grass.
Well, number 8, Skirts on Fire. This one is a speedy daughter of Sweet Return, breaking from the outside, turning back to 5 furlongs after setting the pace. Weakening late to finish 4th against Similar, going 7.5. Dave Cass and Jonathan Gonzalez. I don't know if this horse could be on the lead. I don't know if it's that kind of speedy type. Sort of have to be a specialist at 5 furlongs to get the lead, but I think this horse can carve out a nice stalking trip, whoever might break to the inside and run well in there.
Reminds me a lot tactically of a horse named Posse Dreamin', who won the feature race yesterday, had an outside gate with Jonathan Gonzalez on board and did have some tactical speed, got in position and collared the leaders around the far turn. If you look back at this horse's races in Chicago, going 5 furlongs, they were good, and they were from a stalking roll. The question is, for me, is this horse ready? If she's ready, she's a big chance here.
Well, let's go to race number 5 this afternoon. Anything else in there, Pete? We talked about all the horses, and you don't like my single. You didn't think it was good. That's okay. I'm used to that.
I didn't take any shot at you.
No, I'm not saying a shot. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm just being letting the folks out there know that we have a difference of opinion here with my
Well, usually I can usually handle that. I'm not bashful about our difference of opinion.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe a pancake bet. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, okay.
3 against the 4?
Yeah.
3 against the 4, make it a little injury. If you don't know what our pancake bets, we bet breakfast against each other, and we're even.
Yeah.
So far this
yeah, and
week.
we actually never do go to breakfast. It's just sort of a rite of passage.
Yeah, we just call it the pancake break. Let's go to race number 5, 1 mile on the turf. Claim is 3 and up. $10,000. Scratch the 1 exclusive strike. Scratch the 9, and that is Starship Galaxy. And we are
Look, Ronnie, we agree.
We agree with the top pick, but I found a horse after the scratch of one of the horses I picked in here. We'll talk about in a minute. That's the 10. But tell us about the 6 fan base.
Well, I'll try to leave something on the bone for you, but this horse loves Gulfstream Park, has 9 placings over 16 outings. This horse is in razor good form, has won 4 of his last 6, second his last 2 races. 2 starts back. Whisper on the Wind came back to repeat against Much Tougher. Eddie Castro has the call. The horse also appears to be the controlling speed in here. All signs point to this horse. I think this will be a lot of the people pick 5 and Rainbow 6 singles today.
Yeah, and the other horse I threw on my ticket actually scratch up to was the 3 Muser, is hoping to find a little more for the stretch run. She made that late bid to finish second at this level of distance. Wasn't a bad performance, a logical contender. I'm in agreement. I think fan base has got it over the 3 Muser. I want to tell you about the 10 horse in here before you talk about the 8. This one is Southern Stroll, who has run very well on the turf. You go back and look, this one has had 11 races on the turf, 2 wins, 3 seconds and 2/3. Kenneth sitting a really nice trip in here behind the speed. Marcial Navarro, a limited sampling. He's 3 for 6. That's 50% win with horses returning from a 61 to 180-day layoff. Apprentice Christian Navarro in the saddle this afternoon. I'm going off those back performances. You remember this horse from Gulfstream Park West? Seems that this one's game might be the turf here, and coming back for a good barn. Plus, I like the morning line. I think it's like 20 to 1 on the morning line. If I can get anywhere near that, I think you got to put this horse on your ticket.
Can't argue with you. My only question would be fitness, and you just shot that to smithereens with your statistic there.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm thinking this horse here, if you're looking for a little bit of a price in here. Now we'll talk about the number 8 horse in here, and that's Vendilago, I believe.
Vendilago for trainer Jay Asimopoulos. I'll have to find out what the first name is. Can you see that? John, there we go. The Asimopoulos family is very, very well known in the northeast area, the Boston area, for doing very, very good work. Eddie Dominguez has the call here this afternoon. Just from a figure standpoint, the form is ugly, but the figures are good, which makes me think that this is one of those magnified drops in class where the horse has been racing against Much Tougher, earning good figures, but not finishing in a good spot.
Let's go to race 6 today, and this one is a 1 mile claimer, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, 12-5, scratch the 1 set out, the 4 Empire Road, number 6 Dancing in the Heat on top of my ticket. This one going to the Tammy Levy barn via the claim, stretching out to a mile, 5 races at a mile, a win, a second, and a third. Rally 3 wide to finish second against Similar, going 7/8. Jonathan Gonzalez in the saddle. I like that horse today.
Pop quiz. How many times has this horse crossed the wire first?
I don't know.
0. The only time he won, he was put up via DQ. So for me, I'll question his merit to win. You see, he's
That's
on
the
my
non-winners of 2 life?
Yeah,
okay.
but he didn't actually win.
Oh.
You know, he was made in race was by default.
Right.
point of the story is he's very, very reliable. He's 6 for 7, or 6 out of 19, 7 out of 19 in the board, but 6 slices. He likes to be around. He's very consistent, but he doesn't actually like to win. So because he's the morning line favorite, and because he doesn't like to win, I'll take a shot against him. And speed is my weapon of choice here. I'm going for the 2, Golden Canyon on top. Has an inside gate with Elvis Trujillo. This horse actually chased sub 45 half mile, went 44 and 4 on the chase and 8 and change. You're not going to go anywhere close to that fast. If you go back to his other start over the main track here at Gulfstream, now it was going 1 mile, went 46 and 110 to 3/4. Those are ridiculously quick splits. He won't have to go that fast today, and he will be in front because this race has 0 speed in it.
Well, Dr. Pham, the number 8 horse, and your horse I used on my ticket, I don't know what happened to this horse last time out. He's dropping to the 12.5 level after returning from a 10-week freshening to show earlier inches. He faded to finish last. That was $30,000, 2 lifetime claimers at the distance. I know the barn thought this horse was going to run very well. This did not do it, so they take the immediate drop. Luca Panici will ride for trainer Kathy Ritvo. I'm going to give this horse a pass on that last one, and on the drop, use this one on my ticket.
No argument there. You have to give the horse a pass. If you give him the pass, he certainly fits well. He has an outside gate, and he has some tactical speed.
Who else did you use in here?
7, Unspoken Quality, I think, is the best stretch runner in the race. So if something were to happen where somebody tries to hook Golden Canyon in the early stages, I think Unspoken Quality will be coming on late. Not sure he's a win threat, but he'll be around for a slice.
We're going to go to race number 7, 5 furlongs on the turf, an allowance optional claimer, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. The claiming level $62,500. 6 runners in the field. Sunrise Kitty on both of our tickets, making a first start. I want to show you this performance last time out. We're going to show this horse is running against a superstar in this race. I'm going to show you the break right here. And this horse breaks a little slow in that race. There you see the 4 breaking last. Now, the horse I was talking about is Lady Shipman. So number 1, if you break badly against Lady Shipman, you got to wait for another day. And I just thought this horse ran good in the stretch. He closed to be 4th, as I mentioned. This is Lady Shipman in here, of course, who was a runner-up in the Breeders' Cup fillies. Turf. Fillies, not turf, just turf.
Turf sprint.
Turf sprint against the boys is what I was trying to say. So I just thought this was a good performance, and I think the break, helped it. She closing at the end. It looks like the only one that was running. Of course, Lady Shipman was just cruising on the front end.
The horse who took 2nd that day, Katie's Kiss, is a multiple stakes winner. The horse who was 3rd that day, Jewel of a Cat, is a multiple stakes winner. And then, as you saw, there was only about 1.25 lengths separating Jewel of a Cat from Sunrise Kitty. Now, if you look tactically at the race flow here this afternoon, I think Ronnie would agree with this. Ton of speed signed on in here. This horse will be charging hard. Just needs a little luck with a compact field. There'll be pace to chase. Just needs to figure out how to get through.
Yeah, and I thought this horse had a chance to run better last time out. That's why I wanted to show you that break. And this horse looked like it was closing nicely in the stretch. The other horse we both used was the number 1, Simple Love, beaten a half length by her stablemate, Sunrise Kitty, when they hooked up in a 5.5 furlong turf race at Belmont last September.
Yeah, this horse ran well. Service has got the 1-2 punch here. I think if you're using multi-leg exotics, the pick 5 and the Rainbow 6, you have to use them both. This is a very competitive race. I wouldn't take too short a price on anybody. Spanish Concert plays the big role here, as well as Brandy's Girl. They're going to both be going hot and heavy in the early stages. We have a stakes winner in here also, number 3, Celebrity Star. That stakes victory was on the dirt, but it's a stakes victory nevertheless.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think those are the logical 2, 1-2, but, it can be an all Jason Service exactor in there. I like your choice of the 3 in there. And you mentioned the 4, Spanish Content, beaten the length on the turf by a repeat winner called Exaggerated at this distance at Tampa back on January 20. Goes back to the grass, led every step of the way to win a $35,000 handicap, going 6.5 on the Tampa main track.
Yeah, and I want to tell you something very important about that. The horse was huge that day.
Yeah.
Huge. Right. And the horse who was 2nd, you bought her, was 2-5.
Right.
And I can't remember if she actually won a grade 2, but she's at least grade 2 placed for trainer David Hensley. Spanish Concert was supposed to lay down and go have a nap, turning for home last time, and you bought her was going to run by her like she's tied to a wall. It never happened. Now, I don't know if you can use that form to translate to the turf, but from a race flow standpoint, she plays a major role here. She is the fastest early.
Yeah, she's the fast. Let's go to the final race of the afternoon, race number 8. And this one, 5 furlongs on the turf, claimers fillies and mares, 3 and up, 12.5. Full field of 10 runners. I found this race to be very hard to handicap. I see it wide open. I did go with the 4 Belladini. Now in the Wolfson Barn, the daughter Bandini drops to this level after closing to come within a half length of defeating 16 claimers at the distance back on March 18th. And I don't know if she's the most, she's not on the morning, but she's a pretty good price actually. 10 to 1 in there, and I'll take that with Jose Alvarez in the saddle.
Yeah, to quote our track announcer Gabe Pruitt, who will be making his curtain call here at Gulfstream Park today, they're going to have the lights on and the horn blaring early on in this race. The pace will be very, very fast. It's just a matter of who trips out and comes on to win it. I think the 4 Belladini makes sense. I think my horse, the 3 Trio of Mischief, makes sense. She's a tricky horse to ride. She needs a good race flow, and she needs a good trip under jockey John Cruz. But interesting that you pick a 10 to 1, I pick an 8 to 1 on top. Very, very tough race. Yeah. Morgan Falls has a chance in here for Kathy Ritvo. First start off a freshening. She's also very good. She has enough tactical speed to keep her spot toward the rail, so she should be forwardly placed here.
You know, I give a long shot out each and every day, and that is the number 7 in here, Rock All Day, ridden by Josie Gomez. This horse offered a pretty nice performance on the main track last time out. I don't see a big difference between this horse who running on the turf. I think he can handle the surface switch, and if this horse gets out, Josie Gomez riding in great form, maybe can steal this race. You know, there's a lot of speed in here, but those are the type of horses in this type of race that you have to look for, so I added that one to my Rainbow Six ticket.
I love your long shot plays. I'm usually on the bandwagon, but I'll be watching with incitement for you today.
Yeah. He's going to watch from the sidelines, even though the horns are blaring. And what else happens?
The lights are on and the horns are blaring. That's a la Gabe Pruitt, a great line. I enjoyed that.
You'll enjoy that line. Well, that's how we see the card, and Gabe has done. Talking about Gabe, he's done a fantastic job filling in for both Larry and you, and had a lot of fun with him. I hope he comes back and visits all the time.
I think he will, and he's actually sending me up to bother him in the next couple of weeks, so he'll have revenge on me.
Oh, you're going to go up there and maybe call a race or two, huh? We're talking about Pompano Park, I imagine.
Indeed.
Okay, well, that's how we see the card. We're going to turn it over to Gabe, and when we come back a little later on, the gloves will be off this afternoon. Not really, but it sounds good. Good luck.
32 minutes. Good luck.